Okay, and let's get started right away in this textbook. But the first thing we want to do is, before we take a look at the details of Chapter 1, which is entitled Indian Economy on the Eve of Independence, it's very important for you to have a firm understanding of the four key terms in this first chapter. They are a backward economy, a developing economy, a stagnant economy, and a vibrant economy. The textbook describes the term a backward economy as being an economy that is characterized by the predominance of farming as a source of subsistence. Now, some of you might not know what that means, so let me just go back one step. Subsistence standards of living are the conditions in which where people are working, but they really aren't working to be able to earn money to enjoy the wants of life. They're working primarily to satisfy their needs. Actually, they're working only to satisfy their needs. That means they'll go out, they'll work in the farm all day, and then after the end of one day, they'll have enough money to feed themselves for that day. The struggle then begins the next morning to work again and be able to earn enough money to feed themselves again for that next day. So they're never getting ahead. It's nothing like what we're experiencing here in Japan. This is the kind of situation India faced at the time of independence. So it's important for you to know this term very, very clearly. Current modern-day examples of a backward economy are primarily found in Africa, and they include Eritrea, Mozambique, and Chad. Now that we understand what that is, let's take a look at a developing economy. A developing economy is kind of like a backward economy in terms of the quality of life for the majority of its citizens. However, there's a key difference here. There are clear signs that we are starting to move away from subsistence standards of living, and people are able to actually earn slightly higher levels of income, and there is a growth of manufacturing and other forms of development other than those in the agricultural sector. This is what usually happens after an economy goes out of being a backward economy. So you can think of this as 1, 2 being directly linked to each other. First, we're a backward economy, and then we improve and we become a developing economy. Modern day examples of a developing economy are Argentina, Brazil, and India. Now, the third of these four definitions, a stagnant economy, is a little bit difficult to imagine because it doesn't really imply a particular standard of living. So this could be a very, very rich country, it could be a very, very poor country, it could be somewhere in the middle. But really what this is, or what it defines, is an economy that is characterized by a prolonged period of slow economic growth. Being that we're here in Japan, you should all be very familiar with this because Japan is commonly referred as to one of the most clear examples of a stagnant economy. Things in Japan are actually quite good. The level of infrastructure is quite high. People have a good standard of living, but we are still stagnant. That means the amount of growth that's happening in this economy on an year-by-year basis has changed very, very little. Modern day examples of these economies, or these types of economies, include the United States, Japan, and Jamaica. And the last of the four definitions, a vibrant economy, is characterized by dynamic changes in terms of the emergence of technology in the process of production. So what does that mean? That means there are lots and lots of new opportunities for growth. Technology is more and more involved in the productive process, and the rate of growth is very, very significant. Modern day examples of these types of economies are Singapore, Sweden, and Australia. You can think of a vibrant economy as being the exact opposite of a backward economy. And a vibrant economy can never be a stagnant economy. These two are polar opposites. So as you can see, a backward economy, a developing economy, a stagnant economy, and a vibrant economy are all completely different from one another. A backward economy and a developing economy look fairly similar. It's kind of difficult to see what a stagnant economy looks like. You really need to look at the data to be able to determine if it's stagnant or not. And finally, a vibrant economy is one where we can see lots of opportunities for growth. Now that we have a firm understanding of these four terms, let's move on to Chapter 1 of Indian Economy on the Eve of Independence.